Hello friends, so for today's video, it's going to be a combination of the Booktube Newbie tag and the Booktube Oldie tag. So my husband recently has had more time to read on account of him working really far from home. So on his drives, he's been able to listen to a lot of audiobooks on top of his usual reading, and he actually is a really big reader. So we thought it'd be kind of fun if we tried to get him on the channel a little bit more. Some of his tastes overlap with mine and yours, and then he also reads a lot of other genres as well. So we just thought the Booktube Newbie tag would be really fun for him to do, and then we just had the idea that maybe I could also do the Booktube Oldie tag, and could be a fun joint effort.
Let me get my tea.
Sean will go first as the newbie, and I will actually be asking him the questions, but off screen. You'll still hear my voice, but we've just found sometimes when we film together, we're such different heights that it could be kind of a challenge. So we figure it'll be easier for the focus to be on him when he's talking and the focus on me when I'm talking. He's currently getting his tea, so he will be with us in a moment. First question, why did you start this channel?
Let me refer to my notes. I did not. I am a mooch, a parasite, booktube parasite, latching itself onto Elliot's channel. And occasionally I've been here before, but maybe I'll be here more regularly.
Was that what you
That's all I have, yeah. I didn't start this, so everyone knows that.
That's true.
Not gonna be like, wait, is this all his idea? I'm the Wizard of Oz.
Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube?
I think I can bring some more weird stuff to Booktube. Not that there aren't people reading odd things, but just get it out there. More, I don't know, Thomas Pynchon and things like that. Things of that sort.
Makes him strange, his writing.
What makes him strange? There's whole little musical numbers in his books. There's odd characters like robot ducks.
The light bulb.
In Gravity's Rainbow, there's a whole perspective from a light bulb who leads a rebellion with other light bulbs. His writing style is pretty out there as well, just in general. So yeah, good times. Good fun stuff.
One of your favorite movies. Good time.
Good time, yeah.
Question 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel?
About I guess just getting to share some opinions about various things, comics, manga, maybe some books. I always feel bad assuming like viewers haven't read certain things. Like, you fantasy readers have never heard of XYZ book, but hopefully I can introduce people to some things they haven't heard of. I guess that's a nice way of putting it.
And finding people who do read those things.
Yeah, that's true too.
So you can
That's
connect.
true. Yeah, indeed.
I mean, your House of Leaves review, I think, is one of the best, as far as views go, reviews on the channel.
I did not know that, but I think people are curious about House of Leaves. I think
Yeah.
that's why they're like,
I've
book
seen
is
it-
strange.
I've seen it on the TikTok tables, too.
That's
so.
true. It's a TikTok sensation
Are
now.
you going to start a TikTok?
Definitely. Only dance videos.
You want to show the good people some of your dance?
No, they'll have to subscribe on my TikTok. Follow me. Follow me on TikTok.
Why do you love reading is the next question.
I don't know.
I think a lot of readers try to answer that with it creates empathy and it just gives you so much more fulfillment, and you're just like, I don't know.
Gotta be honest.
Yes.
Transparent.
What book or series got you into reading?
So I think this is supposed to be like, when I was 5 years old, I read Goosebumps. I'm gonna take in a different direction a little bit. I think around 2017, 2018, somewhere in there, I started reading getting back into comics after not reading comics for a while. And then I got into manga. And I think what got me into book reading, back into book reading, was actually Don Winslow's Cartel trilogy. I read The Cartel, not realizing that's the second book in the trilogy, on our Iceland vacation. And insert picture of me reading it. That's what I want at this moment.
The one where you look like you're sick.
Yeah, the one where I look like I'm sickly. Because it was a heavy book. And So I really liked that. I went back and read the first one. Pretty smart. And from there, I started reading a lot of crime stuff. So I read like Richard Price and George Pelecanos and Dennis Lehane. And then I read James Ellroy, which haunts me to this day, but I love James Ellroy. And then from there, I think I read like
Cormac McCarthy, right?
Well, I was gonna say I read Elmore Leonard because he's kind of in that crime thing, but he's also got the Western thing. So then from Elmore Leonard, I read Cormac McCarthy, which is a lot of it's just Westerns. And from there, since Cormac McCarthy's more literary, if you search Cormac McCarthy, like people like Cormac McCarthy, you'll get people who are not at all like Cormac McCarthy. It'll be like Don DeLillo, he doesn't write Westerns whatsoever, but they're like, he's won a National Book Award. They're the same. So I read Don DeLillo, and I like Don DeLillo. So anyways, long answer, but I'd say crime fiction is actually where it kind of started.
What questions would you ask?
Just spilled on myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where?
On my pants. You can't see it, but...
Okay, well, we're just gonna move on.
Okay.
What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers?
So, I have one question, but I think I have this question for, I guess, a lot of people who read, if they do this. I'm not saying you have to, but I think annotating tips or strategies, because everyone does it a little different. If you do it, again, like, you don't have to, but I know some people just, like, highlight stuff, or if they have a Kindle, they'll just, like, highlight things, or some people are really into, like, writing in the margins. I did that for a little bit, and then it definitely made me read probably closer, but also it takes forever to get through a book if you're like writing the margins.
And then you couldn't find.
So I but then that's true, I wasn't tabbing them, I was just writing them. So I'm like, oh, there's this thing, and I'd have to flip through the entire book. And I'm like, I know it's in here somewhere, I wrote on the page. So yeah, I guess that'd be the only thing.
What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome?
I have 0 challenges in starting. I have this platform already for me, so no, it's no challenges.
Maybe just not being scared.
Yeah, that's true. Not being frightened. Stage fright.
In the past, you've been scared to come on here and there because you're like, but...
There's so many of you, so many viewers out there.
Well, and on the idea that some people have reviewed some of the things you read, then you...
Oh, that's true. So that's I'll explain for the good people. So my fear is that I'll read something. So a book I really like is like White Noise by Don DeLillo, and then I'll review White Noise, and I'm not that intelligent. So like there'll be all these all these views on my review of White Noise, and then people are like, he missed like so much of the book, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Actually, I think what would happen is people would be like, so great to see someone finally reading White Noise.
That's true, and there's already people reading it, probably reviewing
and
it,
dissecting it really well.
Right, exactly. And then they would find my review and be like, this guy's an idiot.
Why is he getting all these? But Sean is an intelligent person. He's just also very modest.
Maybe.
When did you start reading?
When did I start reading?
I like how you have to look at your notes.
I mean, I guess it's maybe the same answer as I said before. I guess like getting back into reading around like, I think like I said 2018, maybe something like that. Because I think it's a weird question, because it's like, taken quite literally, it's like I started reading when I was a kid. I couldn't tell you what age when I was like, I finally get it. Like, I know how to read. Scored pretty well on my reading comprehension test, though. So,
where do you read?
That's the couch, typically. But it's not like I'm tied to the couch. It's not like I have a particular investment in the couch. It's just I wake up and I drink my coffee and I sit on the couch.
And you sometimes listen to audiobooks while you're watering the plants.
That's true. I do that.
But that's also because you're afraid of people coming to talk to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, look like you're listening to something. Sometimes, like, I'll just have my earbuds in, and, people do that too, I think. I'm not the only one, hopefully.
What kind of books do you like to read?
So we already kind of got into this, but, I mean, I like comics and manga. I like crime fiction. I like literary fiction. I like nonfiction. I'm kind of getting back into that sci-fi fantasy thing. I think as a young man, I read a lot of fantasy, and like that's pretty well known, like Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time, and I guess those would be kind of like the big two. Oh, and then I read like I shouldn't say all of them because there's a billion of them, but like the Forgotten Realms, Dritz Do'Urden books. But I think recently I've been kind of trying to gravitate toward fantasy that's not quite so...
Sword and sorcery.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. I'm not like... It's not that I'm like, I hate that setting, but I've read a lot of that setting. I even read some of the Terry Goodkind books, back in the day. I liked them, I'll say that on the record. I thought they were fine. A lot of people, I guess, don't care for them. There you go. Controversial opinions already. That's it.
Shall we swap out?
Let's swap out. Tag out. Elliot, if that's your real name.
It's not.
Question 1. How long have you been a part of the Booktube community?
Oh, no. So I didn't prepare for this at all because right before we started filming, we decided you should answer the oldie questions too. How long have I been in the book community?
Booktube community.
Since whenever my channel started, which was a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
I think I was 23-ish. I'm 29
I was
now.
gonna say, it's probably like 2016-ish?
Somewhere 2016, 2017.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Question 2. What was your biggest misconception before starting Booktube? It doesn't have to be about Booktube. Just can be a misconception about anything.
Life?
It doesn't say. Just your biggest misconception.
When I was a child, I thought that... Actually, I kind of feel like I need to finish this line of thought. When I was a little kid, I thought sleeping together was when grown-ups literally slept in the same bed. And sometimes that made a baby. Nobody ever made me feel that way or made me think that. That was my misconception, yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
And that was before joining, so I think this is going to sound maybe a little negative. I didn't realize just how much controversy there could be. I thought it was just people read what they read and wanted to talk about it. It makes me a little sad that that's not just what it is. I understand that there's differences of opinions, and depending on the subject matter of the books you're reading, it makes sense that some things would come up, or certain author behavior, things like that, but there's sometimes a lot behind the scenes, and that's, I think, a misconception I had. I didn't realize just how much, we'll call it drama, how much drama there can be.
Question 3. How do you think Booktube has changed since you first started?
Maybe this is going to follow almost the same line of thinking, but I think it used to be a little bit more centered on books.
Would you say you think there are less reviews going
I think
up?
there's less reviews.
Reviews?
Yeah, because...
See, I'm the fella who actually is like, are there any reviews of this book? And I just like type the book name and then review, so...
I think because reviews, this is not new. I think most people have expressed this and seen this. Reviews don't perform all that well unless they're for something really popular. So...
Or maybe if it's like a controversial opinion.
Yeah, a rant or something like that. I think a lot of times people want to do the things on their channel that allow them to express themselves and talk about what they want to talk about, but then also are things their audience would be interested in. Some maybe mostly want to do what their audience is interested in, and then some people just really want to talk about books. So you can find it. Some viewers will express being frustrated. They feel like there's not enough of what they're looking for. And sometimes it does take a little bit of just searching, because YouTube might not be recommending it, but you can find it. And I think a lot of people sit somewhere in the middle, but I think it used to lean a little more toward, I'm going to talk about books. And then I would say maybe it's shifted generally toward what do viewers want. But maybe that's not true. Maybe it's just my old perspective. I don't know.
You oldie.
I know.
What is your favorite Booktube memory? The friends you made along the way.
I mean, it sounds very silly, but kind of. It's not, I don't know if it's a specific memory. I think just a lot of the friendships have been really, like, I don't think there's ever been it sounds like I'm bragging. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life where I've had as many friends as I do now, that I talk to as often as I do, that are as supportive as they are. Just growing up, that's not saying a ton, in all honesty, because I didn't have a lot of friends.
You're saying you're bragging, but you're really like, you're saying you have like 4 friends.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not that it's like I have so many friends, like hundreds of friends. It's not that. It's just
you've made close relationships.
Yeah, and I think when you're younger, it's hard to find people that have similar interests to you and that you click with, like finding your people. It's sort of cheesy, but you see people say that a lot of times in movies and in TV shows when a kid is struggling to have friends. They're like, you'll find your people. It might take a while, but you will. And it's true, even though that sounds silly. And I think Booktube has helped facilitate that. Is that maybe? It has helped.
This one's actually about books, and I'm not making commentary about what we were saying earlier. But I was looking at these questions like, these questions aren't about books. Except for this one. What are some books that you're introduced to because of Booktube?
Oh my gosh. A lot. I don't even know.
I feel like that's how you get most of your knowledge, right, at this point? Or am I incorrect?
Well, I guess I could say all new releases to some degree that I end up talking about. I wouldn't necessarily say it's from other people, but by making Booktube videos and wanting to do what I can to help promote new authors or helping new books have a chance.
You're on the lookout for...
I'm on the lookout. Yeah. So pretty much all the new releases I cover, but also most of the books. A lot of them come from hearing people talk about them on Booktube.
Number 6, probably already touched upon. We might have been able to move it a little bit, but what is something that frustrates you about Booktube?
I think we did touch on this a little bit. I want people to feel comfortable expressing what they are looking for, but I will sometimes see, I joked about it with Sean, if he were to cover a review, that the response might be, finally someone talking about this book, when it's like, there are people already talking about that book. And that's the thing, is I will see sometimes on the biggest channels where someone will say, oh, thank you for finally talking about this. No one ever talks about this. And you're like, people are talking about it all the time. You just don't know that those people are talking about it. Or you'll say, like, why can't I find a channel where, oh, everybody always does this thing? And it's like, everybody doesn't do that thing. You just haven't found the channels, which that seems kind of negative towards the viewers. And again, it's not necessarily their fault. They just don't know those other things exist. But, oh, I know. This is a better way to, I think, describe what I'm talking about. I liked your channel because you're not essentially like other girls, that trope that none of us like. I hate that. I hate it so much when people say it. And it happened none of us like that. All of my friends, anytime somebody comments something like that, like, that's why I like you instead of everybody else. Because, like, I'm friends with a lot of other people and I like them. So, and also I'm not exceptional in how I go about my channel. Anyway, so what was the question?
What frustrates you?
Oh, okay. I stayed on track then.
You stayed on track.
I stayed on track.
What is your hope? This is a final question.
Okay.
What is your hope for the future of Booktube? I hope it goes to space.
I think there are a lot of people who are fantastic on Booktube, and I just hope more people discover them, because the way YouTube is set up, not always, but I would say, generally speaking, the channels that are already really large are the ones that when people do find Booktube are going to find those channels. And I think there's a lot of other people who deserve to have their channels seen. So I guess I hope that as more people get into reading, that's one of the things that's great about Book Talk, is it is getting people into reading, that they find Booktube and then they don't just find the channels that are already large, that they start finding all those other people. Part of why I guess I'll shout out World Hoppers is it's great because so many other people get to have some time to chat.
And it's like what we were saying earlier, where my like one review of House of Leaves is probably seen by more people when
Stop watching my channel.
I don't think it was a bad review. I'm not saying it's garbage either. Just saying other people read that book. Pretty popular book.
Do you want to come back into frame for the end?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, thanks everyone for joining. He's
feel
on
like,
the ground, and look how much taller he still
I feel
is.
like a Munchkin from Wizard of Oz. It's my second Wizard of Oz reference, and I haven't seen that movie in probably a decade, so it's kind of weird.
Well, thanks for joining us for the Booktube Newbie and Booktube Oldie tag combined. I hope you enjoy the video with Sean and upcoming videos. We will be doing an assumptions video. A lot of you submitted some really funny ones. He has not seen those, so we're gonna film that and then look out for that one because I think that'll be really fun. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Bye. Sean! Gosh!
I was waving.
What a great way to end it.